Welcome. This is Married Now What Podcast. I am your host, Jaron.
And I'm Garlene.
And together we are
Married Now What.
Welcome again to another episode. We are in the midst of breaking news. We have just witnessed the release of Mr. Dr. Bill Cosby. Mr. Cosby, as my wife pronounced it. Dr. Cosby has just been released after being, I think it was...
Wait, he's
convicted.
a doctor?
Yeah, he's a doctor. I forget the doctor of what, but he's a doctor of, something. He definitely is. Out of Temple or somewhere else, another HBCU somewhere. But I think he was convicted of, sexual assault and potential rape and, illusions and,
It got overturned. Well,
long story short,
the charges were dropped. Yeah.
Yeah, and charges were dropped. So the charges were dropped, but it led to a lot of other conversations in our household.
Yeah.
Garlene, he's a little on fire, about some of my opinions in regards to,
Well, I'm on fire because...
Is it about the case? Is it about how the world perceives Dr. Cosby? Is it how... your youth is conflicted with the adult manhood of him? Or
first I have to say I was an absolute huge fan of Bill Cosby.
Was?
I'm sorry.
Continue.
Yeah. And he's like one of those celebrities where, like, a lot of celebrities, I whatever, but I actually loved him growing up, and he was an inspiration. I loved the Cosby Show. And I actually met him. I used to go to the pen relays every year in high school. I've met him before, and I remember meeting him and just being in awe. Like, oh my God. I'm like meeting Bill Cosby.
It was like magnetizing? Was it like that polarizing of a figure?
Yeah.
Because it's like you got stars and then you got like...
Yeah, at that time, he was huge. And I was always a big fan of his. And, to see all these women coming out, it was kind of devastating to me.
So this was like, I think the year of like 2018, 19 or something like that. A lot of accusations from women and females came out about him sexually assaulting and drugging them under the influence. And while under the influence, attacking them without consent. And it was getting a little, testy, I guess.
Having sex with them. Because when you say attack, people are like, no, he never beat them.
With the intent to have sex. It's almost, I guess, you know what it is? It's almost like, all right, so, there's drug charges, and in the eyes of the law, the intent to distribute is different from just having possession. It's possession with the intent to you have to understand it, right?
Okay.
The intent that Mr. Cosby had, I think, outweighs anything else, right? That he was doing this to get these women, in a position where they were drunk, so he could take advantage of them.
Right.
And that's what he's getting weighed on, in the eyes of the public.
Well, it's a little frustrating because I'm going through social media and seeing everyone saying, yay, he's coming home and free him, and making it seem as though he was innocent.
Free Bill.
Right. Like he was actually innocent on what he was accused of, and really he's free on a technicality. Like they shouldn't have prosecuted him after giving him the deal that they wouldn't prosecute him.
Yeah.
But that doesn't change the fact that in the deposition he said that he did slip.
So now, so this is what the changing factor is, right? So in the deposition, if he knew that there was the potential for criminal charges to be brought against him because of his words,
right,
and he chose to plead the fifth, right, and there was no admission of guilt, would you still look at him the same way?
No, because you're talking about I feel like when you think about the judicial system, right, I feel like it's not really for us. And a lot of times there are people who are found not guilty. That doesn't change the fact that you committed the crime. And there are people who found guilty who are sitting in jail who shouldn't be. So
That's true.
I'm not going to say because the charges were dropped that he's innocent. He just has a strong legal team, and the prosecutors did not go about things the correct way, which is why he's free.
Definitely fell on the prosecuting team.
But if in a deposition he said that he did these things, that doesn't change anything for me. It just, he has money.
I don't know. Now, question: did you read the deposition? Did you go over it?
Well,
enough to see
enough to say that. And we just watched.
Yeah, because I mean, it's different from watching something than reading, excerpts from it, right? Not the entire, but excerpts
right,
from it.
But you have to read the entire thing. And what we just watched on, what was that, ABC, when she was reading the deposition, he did say that, what was the drug again?
It was Quaaludes.
Quaaludes, that's it. Yeah.
Quaaludes, which is a popular drug in the 70s, 80s, and is one of those drugs that was a community or party drug, and everybody supposedly, allegedly, was a partaking. And allegedly in some of the deposition, he would offer prior to anything happening, he would set a mood, set a tone, and some of these women were willing to be in those positions, willingly have a drink, willingly taking a pill from him, never forcing. But then there is no excuse for the accusations that came behind it, right? And I don't ever want to remove guilt from Mr. Cosby, because in the depositions he did admit to presenting these type of environments and also giving and distributing some form of a sedative,
right?
So that in itself is terrible, but a part of the the charges in this deposition, the prosecuting team offered him a form of like immunity from criminal charges. But you keep
saying that like that.
It's legal.
Right. I know.
It's illegal. It's a snafu. Yes, it is. It's like fruit of the poisonous tree.
I get that part. But wait. I'm not in the courtroom. I'm saying as a fan of his, if you tell me that you did X, Y, Z, even if you can't get prosecuted on it, that doesn't change my opinion on, whether I can still support you or not. That doesn't change the fact that he did it. It's just they illegally, gave him a deal and then
no, it was
reneged.
Illegal. It wasn't an illegal
No, they
deal.
Illegally, they shouldn't have been able to renege on the deal.
Yeah, they created a situation where they messed up.
It was a snafu.
They should have never offered the deal. Let's say
right.
It like that.
Let's say that. But there's a lot of people who are found not guilty. Zimmerman's walking around. Did he not?
No, absolutely.
Right. So I mean, when it comes, I feel like especially a black person, when it comes to the law.
But you know how many people are rooting for Zimmerman because of that snafu? Like, I want to root for Bill Cosby because they got messed up on the snafu.
What?
Not because of the
He shouldn't have been prosecuted because they offered him a deal.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, that's not the point. The point is, did he commit the crimes that he was charged with?
That is true. I can't argue that.
Yeah,
but
well, I mean, that's
I have a piece of me that says Bill beat the law, like, and this black man.
Well,
because
I mean,
probably in one world, a Caucasian man wouldn't ever got charged. Like Woody Allen never even got charged or got semi-charged, and he was abusing his own children, like allegedly.
Yeah.
And here are accusations here.
So
this man
it's
fought
okay
the law.
if let's take
the law
Bill
thought they
Cosby
wanted,
out
Bill.
of it. It's okay to be a predator if you're black.
It's not okay to be a predator at all, black, white, or any race. It's not okay to be a predator.
Okay, so if a black predator is able to beat the law, it's okay.
Not the action, but the fact that the law was beat at their own game. That I'm sorry. There are.
I mean, there's pro-black, and then there's.
There's people that there are people that actually defend themselves in court and win.
Well, that has nothing to do with.
Hear what I'm saying. Doesn't take away from the action, right? It doesn't take away from the action, and you don't big up or you don't.
But you are.
Celebrate the
when
action
you're celebrating
the charge.
You're celebrating in the faces of women who. It's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. As a woman,
I disagree.
Right?
I disagree.
It is because
So
if
there's
you
no way
if
to separate the feeling. There's no way to separate the emotion.
well, what I'm saying is, as a woman, I'm always going to stick for women and children because we're always at a disadvantage when it comes to powerful men, whether it's white, black, whatever it is, powerful, rich men. So if a woman comes out right now and accuses an actor who's the biggest actor that you can think of,
Idris Elba.
well, we know that's not going to happen.
Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Bouncy. Say that again. Idris Elba got rape charges. Now what?
Well,
You stop like Idris?
no, this is my point.
Okay.
If a woman accuses any actor, singer, entertainer, athlete of sexual assault, rape, whatever, there's going to be a whole gang of people who are going to find a reason why she asked for it or she's in the wrong. Well, what was she doing in his hotel room at that time? Or look at how she's dressed. Or if she's,
Yeah, they got the naysayers and stuff
yeah.
in every situation.
If you wait until you find the strength to speak up, then you're going to have the group of people who are going to say, well, why did they wait so long? And, it can't be true. They have to be lying. They're trying to take down all of our black entertainers. Regardless, you're already, as a woman, you have to prove why you put yourself in that situation, why you didn't deserve for it to happen, and to prove that you're telling the truth.
No,
so either way, you're just at a disadvantage. So
no, I can understand how incredibly hard it is for a woman, and not just a woman of color, but any woman that has to deal with a man in power or of fame or of wealth or certain status. There are a number of men that take advantage of those things. Bill Cosby being one of them, right? He took advantage. He put,
allegedly now, I guess, right?
No,
I don't know.
No, he was convicted and he got it overturned. So it was technicalities, but he was convicted. So I'm gonna still go with that. Like you still were, and then to your point, you still admitted it in a deposition in civil court for something else. And there's other charges that are still pending. Like it ain't over for him because women still have things. And that for me, this is why I can't let Bill off the hook, right? On one hand, it's like, damn, this happened bad long ago. But then it's another hand, it's like, damn, it's about 50, 60, 70, 80. Like, these are women that are coming out everywhere, and it has to be some truth to that. That's my opinion. Got to be some truth to it. There's no, I can understand some people out there trying to get money at money grabs and stuff like that, too. But, when you have a number like that, there's more truth than not. And for that, he deserved, with his ultimate maker, his ultimate judge, he gonna have to pay. He gonna have to pay for that. I can't, judge him. Nobody can judge me at the end of the day. What are the contributions that you brought to the world? He brought a lot of entertainment. He brought some, a period in time when people were, seeing husbands and wives and, as lawyers and doctors and college and business and
not just seeing
culture shifting iconic
maids and struggling black families on TV. Can't nobody. I actually loved the Cosby Show more than I did
Cosby.
more than I did Martin, and I just loved it.
Different World came out, and then it's like, damn, we just grew up a little bit. We just went from middle school to high school.
Yeah, so I was
college.
Devastated. I was devastated.
It's hard to remove those type of impacts that he had on somebody's life. Cool, yes. Art is that. Changes your emotion, right? The person, the man behind it. Not everybody's good people. They just have to have a gift. They happen to have a gift. But not everybody's a good person. At the end of the day, Bill's proven that, he wasn't a good guy in certain situations, most situations.
Yeah.
And these women are now.
He comes from that era where, I think it was men of power had their way with women, and
absolutely, it
was just a way of life, and
and it's still a way of life. This ain't nothing new.
Yeah, but it's different now with the Me Too movement. It's a lot of guys who are getting their charges are getting caught up to them. Russell Simmons.
Oh yeah.
R. Kelly.
Oh yeah. Technology
Harvey Weinstein.
Oh yeah, Harvey.
You know,
he's done.
Harvey Weinstein.
This is Matt Lauer. Remember Matt
Yeah.
Lauer? There's a lot of them.
Yeah, but I mean, when you're a certain age and older, I think it's hard for that generation and older for them to accept that. Just because everybody was doing it does not make it right and okay.
Yeah,
and,
that's the part of that generation where, because they didn't have as much of a consequence, you couldn't see it, you couldn't find it. It was easier for them to like hush some shit. Like,
right,
you can't hush nothing now.
Right, and women were made to feel guilty because she dressed provocative. She was asking for it.
Absolutely,
and
their mother put blame on them because they saw the value of a man through their lenses in the 60s or the 70s.
No, you can be a prostitute.
It's different now,
and still be raped. If you say no, no means no.
Yeah,
and also you should have consent. And it was a lot of, we went to St. Peter's. I remember, a couple girls up there.
College situations are always, who, I would think
passed out drunk and guys still had sex with them. That's considered rape.
Yeah. I would think most colleges or universities have that, you know, those incidents where there are questionable sexual encounters, aggressiveness, rapes, all those type of things on the college campus, over drinking, but, to your point, it's like, damn, it's like, women have so much, to protect, and it's hard, it is extremely hard, for me to be a predator. To be a predator is one of the most filthiest things I could like. To prey on a woman or a child is like ridiculous to me.
Yeah, but
it's crazy.
I gotta say this, right? I think a lot of times when people say rapists or predators, they think of, you're walking home from a party and it's that guy in the alley who just walks and follows you, then pulls you and rapes you. Mm-hmm. And, a lot of times it's somebody that you trust. It's somebody that you could look up to. It could be somebody that you're dating, and I mean... it's a lot of guys who do the drink and get a girl drunk or high, and because your inhibitions are now lowered, they use that to have sex. Is that right? No,
and it is horrible actually.
Yeah,
because of the society that we do live in, it's it's hard, and I guess it is a very good thing for the Me Too movement. Because you're talking about breaking generations of generational curses, for hundreds of years, maybe thousands of years of men being a dominant species and telling women, to be this, and sit over there and accept that. And even if we touch you, violate you, cuss you, for hundreds and thousands of years, you had to accept it. And now
you were asking for it.
Yeah, and now we're in a time where it's like no more.
Right.
We can't. We're not allowing that.
Time to pay the piper.
Regardless of who you are.
Yeah.
You could be the average Joe schmuck on the train station, or you could be a powerful TV producer, philanthropist. We don't give a damn. Music producer, we like movie. We don't give a fuck who you are. Right. And that type of power, and voice is is necessary, and it's about damn time.
Yeah.
I guess for me, it's like I struggle with that inner man too. It's like there are situations where you don't ever want to how do you say you don't want to pacify it or shift blame. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or place blame on a victim. And there's also ways where you look at it as a man where you've been in positions like, dang, have I taken advantage of something like that before? Like, have I been in a space where, like, we were just drinking too much and blacked out and, you know what I mean? Like, did I take it like, it makes you question those things, especially now, like, as a husband, as a father, and all of these things. I'm grown at, at 40 plus is like, what am I teaching my son?
Right. And I feel like it's okay. That's how it was done back then. Everybody was doing Quaaludes and Coke and, X's, whatever they were doing then.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Drugs are always going to be around. So I feel like it's our responsibility to say, okay, what did I do wrong? Or what sexist ways did I have? And how can I teach my kids to do better and to take accountability? And I mean...
Do you train your daughter different from your son? Your daughter is different from your son?
As far as?
How to interact with, sexual tension, I guess, or aggression.
How?
Meaning, like, how do you prepare your son for, interactions with women to be, in a safe space where he respects her wishes, I guess, and how do you tell your daughters not to put themselves in a position, that's the wrong words, right? But to protect themselves. So they're not in a position.
My son, I would just tell him, if she can't say yes or no, stop. So if everybody knows, like, you're in college, you're drinking, whatever. If the girl passes out, even if you were making out before she passes out, once she passes out and she can no longer tell you yes or no, you have to stop. Because then you put yourself in a position where if she wakes up and she decided, you know what, even though I wanted to have sex with him, tonight's not the night I wanted to go all the way, she can say that you raped her and it is considered rape.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So he would definitely have to put, I guess, to make sure he is way more aware of his situation or his surroundings, so that he's never forceful or putting in.
Right. And, when I was in high school, there were girls who were called, she's a tease. And it's kind of like that culture of, you're asking for it. You gave me the impression that you wanted to do this. Now you don't want to. You're labeled a tease.
Yeah. And
that's very tough.
That's a real conversation.
Yeah.
I guess, especially from a father to a son, that's a real conversation. Because I have to really have a heart-to-heart with him to make him understand that, regardless of the situation, you don't ever want to be in a space where you're overly aggressive. You don't want to be, taking anything.
Right.
You shouldn't be ever in a space where you're taking. You should always position yourself where it's willingly, and mutually decided.
Right.
It shouldn't ever be a space where you're taking.
Right.
Whether it's physically, emotionally, anything. We're just taking away.
And for my daughter, I would just tell her, if you go to a party or you're at somebody's house, and if you put your drink down, once you walk away from it, you don't go back to it.
Nah,
yeah.
Leave drinks, or left drinks are no longer good. I always like to make sure there was when I was with my lady friends and we go out, make sure there was a piece of towel or something over top of the drink or something like that. But that is a situation where my daughters, I guess, want them to be more aware than my son. It's almost
they both have to. That's the problem. They both have to. Everybody has their responsibilities,
but it almost feels like women, you have to be more cautious.
Well,
from the time that you leave, from the time that you come home, you have to be on your P's and Q's because you never know somebody.
Right, but no matter how much of our P's and Q's we're on, if somebody isn't home and teaching their sons and their, brothers and uncles and whoever, that they have their responsibility of learning no and learning boundaries. There's always going to be women who are raped and taken advantage of, and because no one is teaching the guys anything. It's all the responsibility falls on the women, and that's not right. That's not right. No means no.
No means no.
No means no.
And that's what I say. It's kind of like generational. Like, I don't even know how many years
it's ridiculous. The same way, it's people that still are really out here. After seeing the video of R. Kelly peeing on a minor, allegedly, after all the young girls who have come out and said that he's had sex with him, there are still women out here who are defending him and saying, oh, well, these young girls were asking for it. And
it's rough.
What about the parents? When it's somebody you love, I don't know about anybody else, but in the Black community, when it's somebody that you love, you'll find every reason and excuse to defend them instead of holding them accountable.
Because you fell in love with the art.
Right, but
the art itself.
What kind of world would it be if you excuse someone's behavior as long as they're not hurting you and doing something to you or someone you love?
That's America, baby. What we was built off of.
Well,
somebody else's tears.
That's horrible.
Not your own.
That's horrible.
But it's hard for people to separate the emotion.
Well,
it's hard, and it puts. When people understand that power, you don't have to be the biggest superstar, right? You can be the average person in your neighborhood or community where you get respect and love.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody can take advantage of that. Somebody will take advantage of that if they have the wrong, intentions. Whether it's, to prey on, people that you can take advantage of.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like,
you're talking as the athlete or the big celebrity.
Anybody, in general. In general, you can be the local, hot girl, with their own salon bubbling. Somebody's watching, but
yeah,
it can be anybody, and if you let it get to your head, you're going to take advantage of that situation. Unfortunately, I don't think people think they can be touched.
Well,
and that's the reality.
A major reason why they can't be touched is people don't want to hold them accountable when it's someone they love. You know? That's the issue.
That's the issue.
People will cut off, or people will talk more about a female family member who happens to dress provocative, wear red lipstick or anything. It's always the women's weight to carry. But they won't hold the male family members as accountable as far as he's a womanizer, he's a pedophile, he's a predator, whatever it is. It's always the woman's weight to hold. And
so here's the question, right? In closing, in
closing,
do you think Mr. Cosby was held accountable, knowing that was convicted?
Well, I mean, he did time.
How long did he do? Prison for maybe 3-4 years or something like that. Long, at 80-something years old. He did a couple joints. Do you think? I'm not going to ask the question. Was justice served? Right? Do you think he was held accountable?
I don't understand.
Held accountable, meaning the penalty, meaning he received a penalty. I don't care about how if it was long enough or not, long enough, whatever the case. Do you think he was held accountable for his admittal to saying that he did these things?
No, because he just came out with a statement and said that I've never admitted and I've always stood my ground on that I didn't do these things. So no. I don't think so. And I also think that it sucks when you do a crime and, 50, 40 years goes by, you live your life. So, I mean, okay, if you tell me I could rob a bank in my 20s, or I could rob 30 banks from the time I'm 20 to the time I'm 40, and I could be a millionaire, and my family, my kids, everybody's good. When I turn 80, I'm going to have to go to jail. Mm-hmm. I'd take that.
Burning that
shit. Be a millionaire, billionaire, yeah.
Burning it up.
It's all right. I lived my life. I had a good time, and I would make peace with knowing that now my kids can enjoy that money, and I'll go do my 5 years, and I'm all right with that. I would
say, damn, that's really gangster, but it's not for that charge. Not for no woman.
Yeah. But that's how I look at it, as far as when people go and 50, 40 years go by for them to pay for their crime. It's like they lived their life already. They're good.
Yeah.
No one wants to go to jail in their 80s. But...
Would you have preferred if he died in jail?
Well, no, I don't wish death on anybody. I'm sorry. No.
That's the ultimate penalty, right?
No, I don't wish that. But
wow.
I just think it's amazing to see people's views on predators. It reassures me that I'm happy that not a lot of people watch my kids. Because if that's what you think.
Yeah. Yo, I just saw something else. I forgot to tell you. Chris Hansen. Remember To Catch a Predator?
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that?
No.
Chris Hansen has a warrant for his arrest.
Really? Why?
There's a warrant for his arrest for something regarding one of
I know he ain't no
shows.
predator.
I don't think he was a part of I don't think he was a part of the Predator. He was a part of this thing. Something happened. I couldn't read it, but something happened. He was supposed to appear in court, and he didn't appear in court.
Oh, I mean, like for a traffic ticket?
Not no traffic ticket. Something regarding him doing the show, like To Catch a Predator. They was catching 3 dudes in a situation, and I guess he was there or something like that. But some type of
you got to give me more deets.
Yeah, it was quick, but Chris Hansen got a warrant.
Oh man,
for catching predators. You know, but
yeah,
I don't know. You know, in my closing, I look at it like this again, like, you know, Bill. Let me see if I can try to answer the same question. Was he held accountable? I think he was. You know, to be at that age and to go to the criminal justice system and the process in Philadelphia courts and stuff like that ain't too. You know, Pennsylvania courts, Commonwealth court system ain't easy. They don't care about no status. So I think he was sleeping with the worst. You know, he was talking about Jello puddings on the buckets with real thugs. You know what I'm saying? But I think that he could have been longer. But, oh, well, again, I got to go back to the law, the court of law. The prosecutor team messed up. Fruit of the poisonous tree. If they mess up at the beginning, chances are they're messing up everything. And that's what Bill Cosby fought, appealed, and won. You know, and for that, I feel like he played the criminal justice system well. He will have to sit before, you know, his maker about the decisions that he's made with hundreds, thousands of women out there. Imagine all the women who never came out and said nothing. Imagine if he had
and they're probably like
multiple children and abortions and this and that popping off. We don't know what type of monster he potentially was, allegedly, right? So I can never, you know, judge that. You know, if he was pleading the fifth, we wouldn't be having these conversations, though.
Right.
That's the ultimate, you know.
Yeah, that's how he got off, because he didn't plead the fifth, and he stood on what he was promised. And
exactly, and then we would still be loving Bill Cosby. He'd have just pled the fifth. We wouldn't know nothing. What it took away from his actions, he still would have been a monster.
Yeah, but if he didn't, I think seeing the words that, you know, he admitted it, allegedly. It changed it for me. Yeah. You know, just like, you know, R. Kelly. And although he said that was his brother, seeing the video of him peeing on what she was 12, 13, 14.
That wasn't him.
Peeing on, well, whatever. I mean, did you see the video?
That was in the way pass.
Oh,
way
in the way pass. Okay.
But, his trial will be up soon, and we will be talking about it.
Yeah, but it's just like
it's
I always get like disturbed when I see people still, you know, saying free R. Kelly and.
Oh yeah, no, Kel's done up. He underneath the jail.
Yeah.
He finished.
Yeah.
Again, it's a different crime. And
you got to tell people to watch the Allen versus Allen v. Farrow.
Allen v. Farrow. Yeah.
That was a very disturbing documentary on HBO.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Talking about, again, Allen Farrow, you know, in a position of power, one of the, you know, world's greatest directors, film director, producers, molesting his adopted children.
Yeah, allegedly. Yeah.
Right?
He never got prosecuted, but it's a real disturbing.
Marrying an alleged child, you know, stepchild or whatever.
Yeah, he married his stepchild.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
No charges, no jail, no nothing.
They tried to, but at that time he was
different era, like we said, right? This was pre-2000s, maybe early 2000s. This is before cell phones in your pocket.
That. Yeah, this is like the 90s.
Cell phones in your pocket was one of the most revelating things you could ever find.
Yeah,
because you were in trouble one way or another.
Yeah,
if you get recorded,
right?
And he was controlling recordings back then. He was controlling all of it.
The media,
Woody Allen. You know,
Yeah, it was a good documentary.
Yeah, watch that one. Watch that one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so
yeah.
we're gonna close it up, man.
Yeah.
Thank y'all again for watching Married Now What Podcast. This is a pleasure for us to do this.
Yes.
We talk, we converse, and we argue behind the scenes about everything.
Right.
But I love it. I love
Right.
it.
We ain't playing no R. Kelly up in here.
No, it's unfortunate, but
Yeah.
happy life, happy wife.
I mean, you
all
would
that
want to
good
hear
stuff.
age ain't nothing but a number, thinking that he might be talking about a 12-year-old.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Seems like you're ready.
I don't want. Let me clarify. I don't want to hear it, but if I do hear it, I'm not going front. I just can't.
Are you gonna
front.
do a 2-step?
I'm going to 2-step. I'm gonna sing a
Yeah.
piece of the
Yeah.
bar. Of
And
the
that was
hook.
one of my, biggest,
I'm not going front.
artists that I loved. But
There's
even if I wanted to, now that I know, it's like kind of weird. How could you even get in the mood? But anyway.
Shit.
Ew.
I'm not thinking about that. I'm
Age
thinking
ain't
about
nothing
what
but a
what I was
number.
going through before I found out what he was going through.
Right. I understand that.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. These conversations make me think about everything, with the different set of lenses, right? Like it was a time and period when I didn't care. Now it's like, no, I care. My wife, my children, my sisters, my nieces, I care. I have to, and I have to make sure everybody else is safe around me. So,
Right.
These things matter.
Right.
And it should matter to every man. The protection of a woman.
Right.
the
Not
rights of a woman.
just women that you love, but women,
Yeah.
just women
In general.
and children.
And if you see
Yeah.
something out of place, step in. Like I wouldn't have a problem jumping in somebody else's. Oh, whoa, chill out. Like, I don't know. They don't make them like they used to. But this is Married Now What Podcast. I am your host, Jaron, and this is my beautiful wife.
Darlene.
And together we are Married Now What. Thank you. Please, again, subscribe to the channel, share, like button, all through this.
Follow us on Instagram.
Follow us on Insta. Most importantly, my wife's banging candle company.
Ooh, I got something burning right now.
That's right, Busy Bees Candles.
It's a lot.
Please, Busy Bees Candles.
This is the luxury 10 line.
Luxury
Yeah.
10 line. That can
Get
be
into
found
it. Get into it.
only on our website at busycandles.com. That's busycandles.com. You should see something pop up like right there.
Yeah.
Please follow the page, busybeescandles.co.
All right. The kids are waking up. They're walking in now.
And we
so
out.
we got to go. Hey,
And we out.
Jax. Bye.